folks. Welcome back to Three's In. Bobo here. Great to see everyone here this morning. So, I've been thinking about how do I answer comments that people make on various presentations. First of all, I welcome and I really enjoy the comments that I've seen. It's just nice to see this flight room expand, if you will. And so I came up with this idea. I didn't want to say a viewer asked about this or a viewer said this or whatever. A viewer is just, I don't like the term. So I've been chewing on this for the last 3 days, and all of a sudden it dawned on me. You're kind of like wingmen. You're wingmen to Three's In. You're the type of folks that would sit around in Three's In. Some came in, sat down, stayed. Some came in, told a couple stories, got up and left. We just never knew. It was a very fluid social gathering. So anyway, back to wingmen. And then I got to thinking about the freedom flights we used to give for the POWs. The first POW that was put through the requalification program was Freedom 01, 02, 03, sequentially, and so forth. So I got to thinking, okay, how would I name wingmen who stop by the channel that comment on occasion? How do I recognize them? I want something that's dignified, if you will. I could use the names that you sign on with, your YouTube handles, but I can't pronounce half of them, and I don't want to butcher them. So I came up with the idea of wingmen, and then I thought, I don't want to call them wingmen this, that, and the other. So I thought, okay, why not use the phonetic breakdown, Whiskey Mike's? And that's had a ring to it. So going forward, when one of you asks a question or makes a comment, and I feel like another comment is needed, I'm going to reference you as I sequentially begin to number you. So the first one I have is a comment that was made by a guy. He's been a frequent visitor here, and he will be, I picked the damn thing up, and here we are, got it back again. He made a comment about knowing or being acquainted with Scott Harp. Now, I did not know him. I had heard of him. I'd seen him around Randolph, but I did not personally know him. And I had a lot of respect for the man from what I'd heard. He was at Columbus when I was in the safety division at Randolph. He was quite an individual, and unfortunately he was killed in an aircraft accident in, I think I'd have to go back and say before I look it up before I said it. He was killed in an F-16 accident in Spain. But at any rate, he was the wing commander at Columbus when I was in ATC safety. And it's amazing to me the 6 degrees of separation. Now, like I said, I didn't know him. But I did know a guy named Jerry Costello. Now, Jerry was a young first lieutenant, and he was a P-Wizzo in the F-111 at Nellis Air Force Base. A P-Wizzo is a pilot weapons system operator. They had a lot of young pilots in 1969, 68, 69, 70 getting assigned to F-111s, but they felt they had to season them a little more before they allowed them to be aircraft commanders. So they put them in the right seat, and that's how I met Jerry. Now, I did not know Jerry well, but me as a second lieutenant, Jerry as a first lieutenant, we had that kind of lieutenant connection. Okay, so Jerry was in our squadron. There were a pair of lieutenants. We had him and a guy named Gil Mook. Now, I didn't know Gil Mook very well at all, but I knew Jerry enough to banter with him a little bit while he was doing a walk around pre-flight and so forth. Okay. Now, what happens is Jerry, I go to pilot training, and Jerry goes to A7s. And then from A7s, he went to Thailand. I go through pilot training, and in a couple of years later, I was assigned to rescue C-130s in Thailand, and I go to Korat. And while I'm at Korat, one of the first things you do is you go off base down to the tailor shop and become registered. What's it take to register in a tailor shop? Go in and buy something and order a beer. That's it. You're registered. You're on the registry. Okay. So I'm down there and just looking around at things, and I see a flight suit, a party suit, with Jerry Costello's name on it. And it was never delivered to him because he had been killed. He was killed on a mission in Cambodia. So I had made note of that. It was really sad that day when I learned that. But at any rate, sometime later, I get back to the real Air Force, to the world, land of the round doorknob. And Scotty Harp's name is mentioned. And I can't tell you really definitive where this story came from, but it was told to me that when Jerry was shot down, he was shot down over a river in Cambodia. And his wingman said that he just thought it was a golden BB that got him or whatever. He wasn't quite sure. Scotty Harp was the investigating, I don't know if he's president of the board, I suspect he was. And they took a knife helicopter out to the site, HH-53, with a contingent of Marines to the crash site. And while at the crash site, they're out there picking through the wreckage, and the Marines had secured an area. And all of a sudden, the Gomers started getting curious what were these guys doing. So they started mounting a little bit. They started mustering around. They were looking rather menacing. And somebody said, hey, it's time to go. We got to get the hell out of here. So everybody ran back for the helicopter. And on his way, Scotty picked up a green oxygen bottle, a liquid oxygen bottle. And maybe he told a story. I just can't remember. But he said, I don't know why. He just reached out and picked up this green bottle and threw it on the helicopter as they exited. Okay, they get back to the base. And he's examining this oxygen bottle, and all of a sudden he sees a hole in it. What the hell? And he's looking at this thing, and it's a AK-47 round that's inside this oxygen bottle when they finally did an autopsy on the oxygen bottle. Turns out it's a AK-47 round. So they call Jerry's wingman back in, and they say, hey, you want to tell us what really happened? You were flying along, all of a sudden Jerry's airplane just not there anymore, or whatever. Well, it seems like they were down on the deck, flying up this river, trolling for Gomers, and they found them. That was a prohibited maneuver in those days at that time. So Colonel Harp, General Harp, called the guy in and gave him a chance to recant his story of I don't know what happened to tell him what really did happen. I always thought that was kind of amazing. Of all the things in that wreckage, and Colonel Harp, on his way out, reaches down and grabs the oxygen bottle and solves the big mystery. So this is an example I want to begin offering you on this channel when I see a comment made and I know a little bit about it or this, that, or the other. And for the author, your wingman 26, Whiskey Mike 26. So from here on out, when you comment and I decide to reply back to you, it'll be Whiskey Mike 26. In the interim, this is Bobo. Base gear, stop. Good to see everybody.